Hello guys, I am here at GenCon 2015 with Travis Chance, owner and designer for Action Phase Games. Travis, thanks so much for joining us here.
Nice to meet you.
We're going to look at Heroes 1 and particularly the expansion called the Stuff of Legend. But first, for those of us that don't know all about the Heroes Wanted, scoop and all about this game, tell us what is this game about and what can players expect from it?
Okay, so the game debuted last year at GenCon, and really the crux of the game is the players are going to create unique heroes. So they're going to be dealt 3 of these cards, they're going to pick one, and then they're going to be dealt 3 other cards which comprise the lower part of your hero, and you're going to make, the Vengeful Owl, or the Human Owl, or the Psychic Owl, the $1 Million Owl, etc. Okay. So the idea of the game is that you are creating a custom hero, and you're actually competing against other heroes, which is another thing that makes the game unique instead of it being a cooperative game, against villains to try to get the most fame. So that is essentially the game in a nutshell.
All right, so what does a basic turn of Heroes Wanted look like? What would I be doing if I pick up this game and I start out?
So you're going to have everyone has a hand of action cards, as I'm sure you guys are fans of CCG, TCG. Yeah. Well, my partner and I both are as well. He was a Magic Pro player and professional poker player, etc. So we wanted to kind of capture that grindy kind of LCG, CCG type vibe, but put it in a board game. So everyone's going to have the same cards. So you're going to have 4 of the same cards, and you're going to have a card that is activates your superpower. So it's sort of like a placeholder. On your turn, it's really simple. You just play one of your cards.
Perfect.
And then that's going to allow you to move around whatever the scenario is, and you're going to be beating up on the minions. You can actually hit other heroes because, like I said, you're competing to try to become the most famous hero. And there's these public objectives out that are called headlines. You're trying to achieve these, and you're trying to score the most points. Okay. After the good guys go, what's going to happen is the bad guys are going to go, and that's going to be controlled by the board. So that the board itself is controlling the villain. The villain will be comprised of 2 cards similarly to the hero, which will denote how they attack, and sort of the lower card will sort of modify their behavior with like a passive or triggered ability. And all of the action cards that you have numbers on them, which are going to be like sort of like your hit points. So the cards that you're going to have to play cards, and you have to choose which cards you're willing to give up to defend yourself, which is going to grind your hand down. So it's a hand management type situation.
All right, so we've got an expansion here called the Stuff of Legend.
Yes.
So what is this expansion about? What's going on with this thing?
So what the Stuff of Legend is adding is it's adding 2 new hero types, and it's adding 2 new scenarios. So another double-sided board. We're expanding on some of our pre-existing hero types. The first game had 4 hero types. As you can see here, this is Tower. I don't know if you can see this guy. Maybe you recognize that as Tom Vassell.
Nice.
There's some of his reviewers up on the gargoyles up on the tower. So he's a vigilante hero, which is from the base game. So we're expanding, and we're kind of giving light to the old hero types, but most importantly, we're introducing these new hero types, which are supernatural and mythic heroes. So the supernatural heroes have a press your luck type aspect to them. They're really kind of front loaded. So they use their powers. Their powers are extremely powerful. They're kind of crappy at magic. So they're like not really harnessing the arcane forces the way they should be. They then become cursed, and their superpowers diminish and become crappy. So you're like, boom, you blow up a bunch of guys, and now like your finger's a sparkler 5 seconds later. So rather than the other guys, which are kind of like push pull, you actually kind of have to backpedal a little bit, work to get rid of these curses, because while you're cursed and you rest, which is when you get your cards back, more bad stuff is happening to you. So your power is worse, etc. The mythic guys, they have more passive abilities, and they're all sort of tied to those basic cards. So a regular hero its superpower is like, it's like an 8. Well, these guys, their superpower is like a 6, but their basic actions are also like a 6. So they're really kind of like mid bandwidth. Okay. And there's very few of them. There's only 4 in the expansion, and then there's a promo one, and there's one in one of our little expansion packs. So there's 6. So they're the most scarce of the hero types. So we have that. As far as the scenarios, we have 2 different scenarios. We have this one, which is my personal favorite scenario, where the villain is coordinating an interdimensional strike on Zeta City, which is the city that the game takes place in. But he's screwed up, and he's opened a portal to Wyoming in an alternate universe.
Nice.
So now there are these like sort of army of darkness skeletal hillbillies that are inundating the city from here. Every time these portals expand, these little guys come over here. So now the heroes not only have to defeat one villain, they have to defeat two villains in two different dimensions, and they have to manage these little guys, which are they're not worth a lot of points, so people will tend to ignore these. Well, if they ignore them, the city gets destroyed, the havoc goes up, and they lose the game.
Okay.
So this has more of like a forced cooperative element than the other one. The other side of the board is a local game store called the Game Preserve, and it's the actual store.
Yeah, nice.
And there's a villain that's an a-hole ghost that's kind of phasing in and out of reality and turning meeples alive in board games and destroying. He's ruining Saturday night sorcery, i.e. Friday Night Magic. So you're kind of going in there and trying to stop the ghost villain from destroying the event, the gaming event.
All right, Travis. Well, what would you say is the defining characteristics of Heroes Wanted that you would pitch to somebody who's thinking, man, I've got all these board games I could buy, all these games I could get into. Why Heroes Wanted?
Well, I feel confident saying this game has more replayability than 99% of board games. Just the base game has 1,500 possible hero combinations, and literally, this hero with one different card is a totally different hero.
Right.
So every time you play, you're going to get to customize your experience. The goals are going to be different. That's going to drive your decisions in the game.
Yeah.
Replayability, different boards, replayability. Villains are modular, replayability. It's honestly too much replayability. There's so many options. You could lock yourself in a room, like ostracize yourself from society for 5 years, and I don't think you'd play through all the content. So I think the replayability, the humor, and the fact that the game is many things to many different people, while it is a funny game and it has charm, it is a very serious game. Guys that like games like Magic or Netrunner, I think are going to love it because it's got that hand management style to it.
All right, Travis. Hey, thank you so much. This has been an overview of Heroes Wanted, particularly the Stuff of Legend expansion. If you have Heroes Wanted and you want to expand it, this is obviously a great purchase for you. If you want to get involved in Heroes Wanted, well, Travis just said it best. It seems to be a great game. We'll see you more from GenCon 2015. Thank you guys for watching. Stick with us.